Would it be valuable to you if you could boost your brand's visibility, getting your message out to the world, reaching the right audience, making a real impact? Would that make a difference in your business and in your sales? So in this episode, we are diving into exactly that topic with our special guest, Lori Young. So stay tuned. We are Momentum Maker Podcast. I'm awesome Angie Engstrom, honoring the awesomeness in all of you.
And I'm Kira Adgard. And once again, a big welcome, Laurie. We are so thrilled to have you here today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very excited. Very excited. I absolutely love talking about visibility, one of my favorite topics. So I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah, we are looking forward to hear all your golden nuggets about it. So I would just advise anybody who's listening, get out your notebook, get out your pen, and start writing. Okay, so I'm going to start off by just making a short introduction because some of you might not know Laurie. So Laurie has more than 30 years of hands-on experience working with startups and entrepreneurs. She's a certified online business manager, master marketer, and podcast host. And she's also the heart center founder of On a Mission Brands, where she and her team helps business owners scale their business online using smart strategic marketing and giving them operational support. Laura's goal is to help her clients manage their brand visibility so they can focus on making a positive difference in the lives of their clients. So beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, welcome to Momentum Maker Podcast. You heard our bio, so give us your elevator speech, like your 30-second elevator speech in your words.
My 30-second elevator speech would be that we support health and wellness brands to boost their visibility and to grow their business using strategic marketing and operational support.
Wonderful. Health and
wellness. Less than 30 seconds.
I didn't time it, so I think you're right, though. That was the goal, just short and succinct, just to make sure we're right on point. And you said health and wellness?
Yeah, health and wellness brands is a big focus for us. Like a lot of wellness coaches, mindset coaches, therapists, brands that are focused on, I guess, elevating the overall health of the world.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay, there's got to be a story behind that. We'd love to hear it. How did you get into that particular lane?
Yeah, so let's start and go back a little bit in time. One of my first gigs and one of my first dives into the whole marketing world was when I worked for a company that was marketing specialty food products to grocery stores. Okay. And I worked there for 14 years and it was a lot of fun. I learned everything about business growth. It was just fascinating. I worked under some amazing leaders and just learned a lot. But in 2004, I started getting like a feeling inside of me. It was just a stirring inside of me that I needed to make a difference in the world. And I did not feel that marketing food products, although it was very yummy, was not aligned with who I was as a person. I have been on my own personal growth journey since I was 21 years old. And I just had a deep longing to make a difference in the world. At the time, I had a mentor that suggested to me that I become a life coach. And if you know anything about the coaching industry, 2004 was a very infant time for the coaching industry. As a matter of fact, I was like a life coach, like, what is that? And I started reading about it and I just had this overwhelming passion for the field. And I was just like, this is totally where I need to be. I negotiated kind of a work from home and eventually kind of removed myself from that company and went on to get my coaching certification. which also deepened my own learning. But as a result of that, I launched my own lifestyle brand. It was called Momnificent.
Oh, I
And
love that name.
yeah,
Oh,
and and I was focused on helping moms create healthier and balanced lives for themselves, for their children, for their marriage. And it was through that brand that I literally fell in love with building brands. I learned everything there was about online marketing and growing a brand. And I had a following like worldwide that followed the Momnificent brand. And I did that for about 8 years and went through a personal transition and needed to shut down that business, moved across country from Chicago to California, later met the love of my life and had an opportunity to start my business, or start a business again. I'm like an entrepreneur at heart. So I started On a Mission Brands, and this time I really wanted to just focus on helping brands like elevate their business, their visibility, and make a bigger impact in the world. And the reason why I choose to work with health and wellness brands is because they are focused on making a positive difference. You know, not that other businesses are not, it's just, it serves my heart of like being able to use my gifts to make a difference in the lives of other people. So that's kind of my story of how I got here.
Heart-centered. I love that. I really love that.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm very heart-centered. People, you know, some people will say there's no room for heart in business, but I am 100% against that. I am very much about heart, very much about building deep relationships with my clients, with my team members, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. So that's who I am.
That's
Sometimes I
awesome.
get hurt, but that's just I can't see myself doing business in any other way.
We
Stay
love being
true
able
to
to
yourself.
amplify businesses that love what they do. Like if you don't love what you do, then why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know, people will feel it. So you need to love it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why it's like, that's why I choose who I work with, so that I can every day feel fulfilled and know that I'm making a difference. And every day I get to wake up and work with the most amazing clients and the most amazing heart-centered team members as well. So it makes work not work.
Yeah. So true.
Well
So
said.
true. So would you dive a little more into the process you go over with your clients?
Yeah, I can do that. So one of the things I want to say about my process is very bespoke. I'm not a believer in like cookie cutter solutions. Like this is, you have to do X, 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 you know, to grow your business, because I believe in helping business owners create a very authentic and very aligned business. And every business owner is different. They have different values, they have different personalities, they gravitate towards different strategies, whereas other, you know, business owners might gravitate towards another kind of strategy. So I don't tell my clients, this is what you need to do. We collaborate and co-create together, and we find solutions that work for them. But I do want to, I guess one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, which I think is kind of underlying any visibility and any business growth path, and that is what I call the 7 C's of visibility and growth. And so I wanted to kind of dive, I guess, into that, because I think that the majority of people that are growing their business are looking for visibility, right? Yes, there are businesses that maybe have reached a point where they have all the visibility that they could possibly want, and they're maybe focused more on scaling, their processes and their systems and building their team and everything. But ultimately, every single business owner needs visibility. Always. And it's one of those things that's a constant in business, that you need to constantly be working on your visibility. So let's dive, I guess, a little bit into what these 7 C's are. And we can just kind of flesh them out and talk about them individually, because they're very, very meaty.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting the
So
notepad out.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All your listeners, get out your notebook. I got mine.
Okay. All right. So the first C for visibility and growth is clarity. If you think about clarity for a moment, it's probably one of the biggest business problems that people encounter. Whether it's a lack of clarity on their growth path, the strategies that they are using to grow their business, a lack of clarity on who their audience is, a lack of clarity on what their offers are, and what transformation that they create for their clients, and even just a lack of clarity on messaging. Like, how do I communicate what I do to who I do it for in a way that's effective and draws in my ideal clients? So anytime we have a lack of clarity, what do we tend to do? Kind of just
freeze up because you don't know where to go.
Right. We freeze up, we stall, we don't know how to move forward. So that, to me, is one of the first things that I work with on business owners, is getting them clear. Once they're clear, we can move on to the second 2 C's, which are courage and confidence. Courage is something that we all have to do. If we are going to show up for our business, we need to have courage. We can't be afraid to be alive and to express our personality and to talk about what we do. It takes courage to show up online consistently, right?
Yeah.
And so we do have to develop courage. Whatever belief systems are going on inside of us that's prohibiting us from having that courage, fear of judgment, fear of making a mistake, fear of failure, even fear of success. Like, oftentimes, sometimes I ask myself, what is the fear that really sometimes stops me? And sometimes for me, it is fear of success. It's like, oh my God, what would happen if I had so many clients and my life became unraveled and stressed out? Like, balance for me is so important to me that it's a huge fear for me to have a balance, for me to have a business that's not balanced and aligned with my lifestyle. So sometimes it is fear of success. Can I handle success if it comes my way? Sometimes it's failure, but there are beliefs that stand in the way of us having courage. Then the third C is confidence, right? Do you have a belief in yourself? Do you have a belief in your offers? Do you have a belief that you can actually create the transformation that your clients need? And, in the beginning, when we're in the beginning stages of business, it's hard to develop that confidence, because it's like, well, I don't have any proof that what I do can actually help people, right? And we rely on those external validations to increase our confidence. And when that external validation doesn't come, then we're sitting in this place of a lack of confidence. And that's why it's so important that we work like on our own inner belief. Any like questions, like anything, can you guys like relate to anything when it comes to clarity, courage, and confidence?
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Absolutely. I was just thinking about the courage thing, because as entrepreneurs, we can't hide in the corner, because nobody's going to come knocking on your door and say, hey, can I please buy your products?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, they happen to just come across. And, the thing with confidence is it's an energy, right? And that energy gets expressed everywhere. Like it gets expressed in this podcast episode, for instance. That energy is expressed in your content. I know like last week I got a little bit more clarity on the exact problems that I solve for my audience. And I went to write my content last week, and the content just flowed out of me. It was just like, oh my God, I'm on fire. Like my confidence was like on the top of the world. Like I even like texted my business coach and said, oh my God, my content next week is going to be so great. But what came first? Clarity, right? Clarity. I already have the courage. Like I'm just like, to me, it's like, I'm kind of, I don't know. I just like am pretty good about just showing up for myself. I'm okay with showing up. But when I don't have that clarity, like my confidence, I'm just like, oh my God, my content sucks this week. Like I don't feel good about, putting it out there. And then sometimes I'll put something out there and I think, oh my God, that was bad. That was terrible. And tons of people react to it and go, oh my God, this was so good. And like, so weird.
Yeah, it is. You're speaking truth, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, but your
Yeah.
confidence is like that. It's that energy that you like. Let your personality like shine, and don't be afraid to be like whoever you are. Don't be afraid of people judging you, because there's going to be people that absolutely love you, and there's going to be people that absolutely can't stand you, and there's going to be people that are just like, they can take you or leave you. And you want the people that love you anyway. Those are your ideal clients. So don't be afraid to be weird. Don't be afraid to be yourself, be authentic, and just show up with like the best confidence that you can.
Love it.
Beautiful
I'm excited to hear
message.
the other 4. Wow.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So the 4th C for visibility is creativity. Now, if you look online, we all know it is a very saturated marketplace. It doesn't matter what industry you are in, unless you have some extremely unique niche. Your niche is going to be saturated with people. And the only way for us to stand out and to be different is to be creative. Right? We have to be able to tap into innovation, and we have to be able to tap into our creativity and find ways to spark attention. I'll give you an example. I just did a post on solving business problem. Now, I could talk boring, like, we need to solve business problems. We all have business problems that are draining our energy, and it's important for us to solve these problems, blah, blah, blah. Boring, right? People are going to be like, yeah, I know, right? What I did instead was I used my dog, my 14-and-a-half-year-old Maltipoo, who has dementia. And she has had one problem, and that was peeing on the floor all the time. She would pee here and pee on my rugs and pee here. And I was so frustrated. And I literally put up with this. Both of us, my spouse and I both put up with this for like 6 months, like complaining, oh my God, she could pee on the floor again. Like, oh my God. And finally one day I was like, why am I not solving this problem? And I decided that's it. She's wearing diapers. I am getting her diapers. So we bought extra small diapers for our 6-pound little Maltipoo. And now she wears diapers. And I don't have to be annoyed anymore with her peeing on the floor because she just pees in her diaper. But that was the example that I used and tied that into like business problems. Something that people, you know, it's a creative way to talk about a common problem.
Yeah. So any of you listeners out there that have dogs or kids or
Yeah.
cats or animals of any kind, you got automatic content right there that you can farm.
Oh, 100%. 100%. As a matter of fact, one person on LinkedIn, she messaged, or not messaged me, but she responded to the post. She said, oh my gosh, she says, I've missed your dog post. And I'm like, I'll do more of them then.
Yeah, we lost our dog a couple of years ago, and all I've got, and then our son moved out, so all I have is plants. That's like all I've got now. So if you've got kids, animals, pets, milk it.
Anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. But just think about, you know, what ways can you express creativity? You can express creativity through your content. You can express creativity in the transformation that you provide. You can express creativity in like your offer. Like maybe, you know, maybe there is someone that offers, you know, helping menopausal women, you know, lose weight, right? But your offer could be creative and different than other, you know, weight loss coaches that are addressing that same niche. What can you do differently that your competitors are not doing that will make you creative and innovative?
Love that.
So the fifth C is consistency. Yeah, I cannot say enough. I was blessed in being one of the most consistent and routine people in the world. Like I'm very predictable. Like it's a weekly newsletter, social media content every single day. Like I get up, I do the same thing. I drink my coffee. I do an hour of LinkedIn engagement while I'm drinking my coffee. I'm very consistent. And it's important because if we are going to show up and be visible, we can't just show up when we feel like it, when we have time, you know, when we get an itch to show up, that doesn't work that way. Because what happens is while you're being inconsistent, your competitors are being consistent. And they are showing up consistently, and they are consistently in front of your audience. If you're going to build a brand, you need to be consistent. Consistent in so many different things. Consistent with showing up in front of them on a regular basis. Consistent with your brand. If your brand colors, like my brand colors are like purple, indigo, and gold, right? My content, you can consistently recognize my content online because it's all purple, gold, and indigo. So I'm not going to put up a red social media post or a green social media post because that's inconsistent with my brand. I'm not going to switch up fonts on my brand. I'm going to use the 2 fonts that represent my brand, because that's creating consistency. When you create consistency, you create like normalcy for people, right? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is familiar, right?
Yeah,
And you
that's-
want them to feel familiar, because that's what creates the connection.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
great. The familiarity for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it recognizable. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Mm.
The 6, I think we're on number 6,
Yeah.
is
Yep.
content. We've been talking a lot about content, and here's the thing: content. When people say content, what they normally think of right away is social media content, right? When I say, oh, you need to be consistent with your content. Oh, okay, I need to post on social media regularly. That's not all that content is. Content is every single solitary place in your business that has your messaging. Like it can be your website content. It can be your newsletter content. It can be your blog content. It can be podcast content. If you're doing a workshop, that is content. If you are in a sales call, that is content, right? Everything, every message that we put out is content about our business. And so we need to think about, like, what is the content that we want to put out that represents our brand? How are we going to tell our story about our brand with our content? And some people, it's not on social media, and that's totally fine. Some people don't do social media at all. I actually talked to a girl the other day who all of her business is strictly referral, but they have content still that goes out. It's not social media content, but it's other types. It's newsletter content, right? There's some kind of content that represents you and your brand. And so, kind of back to consistency, that content needs to be consistent, and that content needs to tell the story of who you are and who your brand is, and what you do in the world, right? And who you do it for. So
Yeah.
any place that someone goes to read my content, it's all like aligned.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah,
Okay.
Mm.
All right.
beautiful.
And then just to touch base on the last C for building your brand visibility is community,
Mm.
right? Community is huge these days. I think ever since we've kind of been through the pandemic, right? And we were kind of stuck at home, and we were alone and isolated. And even though, the world has opened back up, we still have like very remote lifestyles. We
Definitely.
still work a lot from home. Here we are virtually on a podcast episode, right? And it still can be very lonely, especially as an entrepreneur who's building their business. It's very lonely, and we need community. People like thrive on community. It offers support. It offers just the ability to connect with other people. It's just a way for us to be human beings.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's how we met. We met in co-creators community.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
like through our relationship with Michelle,
Yep.
that's how we,
Yeah.
that's
True.
how we became connected. So we have to have some way and place where we are building community. That community can be built on social media. That community can be built in private communities. Like I'm a part of the Entreprenista League, which is a community of like over 2,000 women business owners. It's a place where we can all like come together and learn about each other and support one another. Sometimes your community is your friends and your family, right? It just, whatever your community is, you've got to build that community and you need to stay connected to that community. That's part of your visibility. We can't hide. I'll give you a perfect example of this. Like I am by nature am an introvert, and I love to write. And I would say the majority of the content that I put out prior to 2024 was all written content, blogs, social media content. It's the way I express myself. What I was lacking was community. I was hiding behind my computer and not being in touch with a community. And in 2024, I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. This is the year that I build a community. I started the year off and I joined a LinkedIn brand building community and was with that community for about 3 or 4 months, learned a lot, met a lot of really cool people, but ultimately found that it's not the right community for me. And I think that's important. We have to have the right community for us. That's when I joined the Entreprenista League, and that is an amazing supportive community. I met Michelle through the Entreprenista League and then joined her co-creators community. Meanwhile, I've extended that community into networking calls. It's like, it's a goal for me to set at least 3 to 5 networking calls like per week so that I can build my community. And it's important to me, like for me to help other people, help other business owners. Like, oh, you do this? Well, I don't do that at all. Let me keep you in mind for someone that might need your services. And as our community grows, our visibility grows.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so when you say community, you're not necessarily meaning you're opening up a Facebook group and like putting a bunch of people in
but
it.
it can be.
Right.
It
Gotcha.
can be. Some people have their own private communities on Facebook. Some people have their own private communities on like the Heartbeat app or School or different things. Some people consider their social media audience their community. If you are regularly interacting with the people on your social media feed and you're scheduling calls with them and getting to know them, that's a community.
So the scheduling calls and reaching out and having conversations is what you're referring to as community.
Yes, and being in connection, in real connection with people. And for some people, it's in-person communities like Chamber of Commerce, or we have a local Hero Hub community here in Temecula, which is a bunch of like women business owners that are just local to the community. And they have like regular, monthly events. That's community.
Nice. Awesome. The 7 C's.
The 7 C's of building your visibility and your growth in your business.
That's awesome.
Thank you for sharing. This is awesome. Really
Super
awesome.
valuable. Yep. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, that's awesome. Yay. So tell us, when you work with clients, I know you've got a ton of success stories. Does any come to mind that you want to share with the listeners today?
Well, I do have a lot, but I want to share one that's going on right now. Because I have just a super big heart for this gentleman. His name is Micah, and he is a trauma resilience coach. And when he came to us, his website was kind of half finished. he had been working with a marketing company prior to us, and they just abandoned his project without ever finishing it, leaving him just kind of high and dry and unable to really like go out there and start increasing his visibility, right? Because let's go back to the clarity and the content, right? His clarity and his content and his confidence, everything was kind of lacking because the representation of his brand was not what he wanted it to be. There was another offer that he was really passionate about launching, and he needed someone that was, you know, an expert in launching new offers and writing sales pages, creating sales content. He had a quiz funnel, like a really cool, like what's your trauma score quiz funnel that was just halfway done, not working, wasn't adding people to his email list. It didn't have an email sequence like, you know, attached to it. And so we came in and basically just cleaned up all of the messaging on his website, helped him launch this new offer, write the sales page for that. And then we kind of moved on to the next step, which was crafting his content strategy and his strategic partnership strategy. Again, building community, you know, helping him like build his community and help him craft his content that he's going to be engaging with on a regular basis to help him get visibility. So that's kind of where we're at with him right now. He is like super, super happy. Like he is excited about the work that he's doing. He is excited to go out into the world and to help people like rewrite their trauma stories. And we're excited to work with him. Our next phase will be actually managing his content for him. We will write social media content for him. We will repurpose blogs into a newsletter for him and make sure that we are, and he's also working with an ads person to, you know, run ads to his trauma quiz. And so, yeah, it's fun and we're excited about it. He's excited about it. He keeps saying like every single time you guys come to me with something new, he said, it just gets better and better. And I was like, yes, that's the kind of marketing agency that we want to be, the growth agency. I mean, there's a lot of marketing agencies out there. A lot of them will treat you like a number. You're just one other person to do a marketing campaign with, and you don't get that highly personalized, that kind of heart-centered and high-touch care that we offer in our agency. So
that's great to hear. Yeah, that's really great to hear. Because there are a lot of marketing companies out there. And
I cannot tell you how many people, it's really sad because it's like so many people come to us and they've had bad experiences with marketing agencies and they're scared to, you know, to get started with another agency, but almost always they walk away going, oh my God, like my experience with you was so different.
it's awesome.
Nice.
That's what we
Awesome. Love hearing that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing better than happy clients.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Well, and then everyone's able to make an impact. You're making an impact on these businesses. Those businesses are making an impact on their clients, and like it's this beautiful circle.
And it's like a wave,
Yeah.
you know, and their clients, the changes in their and transformation in their clients is creating a ripple effect in the world. So like we're all using our gifts to make a better world.
Wait, would
Yeah, I
you say
love
that
that.
those business owners that well, obviously that you work with, like in general, business owners aren't necessarily marketers. Like it's not a
No.
natural thing.
You know, some of them, you know, some of them come to us and they have good ideas,
Right.
and they and we like those because we like to collaborate with our clients. Like I am not going to tell you I know everything there is to know about growing your business and marketing and, you know, increasing your visibility. are new things popping up like all the time. And, you know, it's hard to stay on top of everything. So to me, it's like if we can collaborate and we can use a universal mind to come up with the best strategies to grow your business, that's what's ideal.
Hmm.
Well said. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, very nice. Now, personally, I love the 7 C's of visibility. That's absolutely amazing.
Cool. I'm glad you like them.
So, so I was wondering, when people end up not working with you, what's holding them back?
I would say that the biggest thing that holds people back is the investment. There, in my opinion, are too many gurus out there that are promising quick fixes and fast growth. Oh, you can get, you know, 5-figure months in just 3 months of working with me and, you know, blah, 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 right? And they think a lot of times that business growth should be fast. And if they're not getting like immediate results, they're questioning the effectiveness of the strategies that they're doing. And you can't do that, because growing your business is a marathon. It is not a sprint, and you have to be invested for long-term growth. You have to be willing to test. You have to be willing to say, let's try. Let's see how well this works. And if it doesn't work, let's try something different. And so I would say the majority of the people they struggle to come up with that level of investment. They struggle to come up with that level of patience to grow their business. And that's what would stop them from working with us. Or maybe they've had bad experiences, kind of like what I said. You know, I've worked with a marketing agency before, and it's never worked in the past. So why would you be any different, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well said. Yeah. The word test.
That's what marketing is.
That's
Exactly.
exactly right. Yes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely testing. That's what business growth is. It's testing. Like, I mean, the real people, the authentic ones, you know, that are actually saying, I actually failed 15 times before something worked. That's reality.
Yes.
Yes.
That's reality, right?
So true.
Yeah.
I always tell the pancake story where you're like, yeah, you've probably made pancakes before. You got to mix the batter, you got to get the
Right.
pan ready. And, you know, the first pancake you make, sometimes you can eat it, not always.
Right.
But if you
It
don't keep
falls
going,
flat. It's not fluffy.
yeah,
No,
exactly. Yeah.
it's for the dog. Yeah.
Yeah. And if people stopped at that first pancake, they'll never get the good stuff. And so
Exactly.
that's how I see marketing is you got to test. You got to be okay with the first pancake. Okay, throw that one to the dog. All right. We learned something. We got some data.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the other thing, data. It is very important to pay attention to data, because numbers don't lie, and they do tell a story about what is working and what's not. But you do have to have patience. Like, just because you don't get, you know, results in a month doesn't mean that the strategy is not effective.
Amen. Put a
Right.
period.
So true.
Right
Yeah.
on. You nailed it. Don't even need to elaborate on that.
No.
That was perfect. Wow. Okay. Lori, so much value. You're awesome. Thanks so much for being here. As we wrap this up, is there anything else before we ask you the final question? Is there anything else that you want to share with the listeners before we wrap this up? Other than the call to action?
I would say most important is to stay aligned with yourself throughout the process of building your business. Do what feels good. Don't rely so heavily on all of the gurus that are telling you, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. Trust yourself when something doesn't feel good, trust that. So take time to regularly check in with yourself. Take time to take care of yourself. And it's like we said before, it's a marathon. Like you cannot just go out there and sprint 26 miles. You're going to burn out. So just stay aligned, take time for self-care, and just enjoy the process of growing your business.
Yeah.
Well said.
Enjoy and have fun. Yes, I love it.
Health and vitality. I love that. Awesome. Yay. So
Awesome, Angie.
honoring the awesomeness in all of you. That was a tagline that because I was actually named that. Awesome Angie came from a community actually, and they gave
Okay.
me the name because I guess my 30-second elevator pitch they didn't like it. So they're like, okay, we need to work on this. And they came up
It's
with the
funny,
name.
one of my very first clients named me Amazing Lori.
Oh,
Aw.
names like
anyway.
that can't necessarily come from yourself. Like it's
Right. Exactly.
No.
And then once I added
unless you're
drag-
like highly self-centered, right?
and it's what's fun using a name like that, an adjective in front of your name when you go to these communities or the networking meetings, and you like if I introduce myself Awesome Angie in front of a room full of strangers, it's so fun to watch the faces because some people are like, oh, that's fun, and other people are like, what the heck are you doing?
We talk about creativity, right?
That's
Creativity, like Awesome Angie, honoring the awesomeness in all of us, right? That's
Yes.
creative. And
Yes.
that's memorable.
Yeah, it
Thank
is.
you. And it
Mhm.
came with time. It didn't come like,
No.
like you said, patience. I had to work on that. And then finally it hit one day. I'm like, oh, wow, I like that. I can roll with that. Let's go with
Right.
it.
Absolutely.
And then I built the whole brand around it, which,
Yeah.
the visibility, because
Right.
if I'm Awesome Angie here, I've got to be Awesome Angie on all the other places.
Everywhere. That's your brand. You need to be awesome.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay, so Lori, what should listeners do next so that they can connect with you and learn more about you and what you're up to?
Okay, I would say the best way to stay connected to me is to subscribe to our weekly newsletter. It's called On a Mission Momentum, and it's all about helping you with the business growth and visibility tips that you need to stay on your mission of creating a healthier and better world. I love my newsletter. I don't hold back on content. Every single week, it's a deep dive into some type of business concept or growth concept or strategy that business owners can use. So if you go to my website, onamissionbrands.com, I would say a few sections down, you'll see a little section that says to sign up for the On a Mission Momentum newsletter. That's the best way to stay in touch with my podcast episodes, deep dives on value-added content, different ways that we could work together, and showcases a little bit of my personality.
I love it. I love that it has the word momentum in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love that.
Yep. And my podcast is On a Mission Mojo.
Ah,
that's
nice.
right. Yes.
Nice.
No. Love
Yeah,
it.
that's a nice one. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna encourage everybody to sign up for Lori's newsletter because it sounds amazing and you can learn lots and lots about marketing and visibility. So sign up.
It's on my
And
list. I'm definitely doing that, Lori.
Awesome.
yeah. We'll be signing up, Lori.
Well,
And I'm just gonna thank you once again for joining us today. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you for giving
thank you
so
for
much
having me.
value.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
It
you're
was
welcome.
a fun conversation.
Okay, yeah, I enjoyed it too, definitely.
Yes.
So thank you very much. Let's wrap it up, Angie. I'm Gita Adgar.
And I'm Awesome Angie Engstrom. Thank you for listening to Momentum Maker Podcast. Keep your momentum, keep moving forward. And if you happen to be a course creator or a coach or an entrepreneur and you're spending too much time selling one-on-one, and you're ready to sell one to many, then that's what Geety and I do. So open up a tab on your browser and go to elitevirtualstages.com/blueprint and learn how you can turn your expertise into 6 and even 7-figure days. Oh yeah, I'm not saying in 3 months, like Lori was saying. Yes, there's some time to this. But we do believe in quantum leaps. We've seen some crazy stuff with this. It's powerful. And we use live transformational virtual events to do that. So thank you for listening to Momentum Maker Podcast. Thank you, Lori, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.